acting like beauty leaders all around the world. Let us keep our dreams alive, 'cause tomorrow's gonna be a better day.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whatever part of the world you're joining this podcast from. My name is Ikhile Guguni and I'm your host for today. I'm joined by Favor Ikhile, who is a Kectil colleague from Nigeria. And we're here to have conversations about the importance of networks and the kind of value that youth can derive from attending conferences and meeting other youth people. This is the first podcast that we are recording here in Atlanta at the conference that has just concluded with so much learning, so much networking, and so much friendship building out of these relationships here. So welcome to the podcast, Favor.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm super excited to be with you today on the podcast.
Wonderful. So let's just kick it off. There's so much excitement, I know, from what we've been learning throughout the week. And I've had conversations with you in person during breakfast and during lunch, and you've told me about your journey in Kectil. And I thought this is a very important message to pass around the world for other colleagues in different countries to get to hear. So tell us about yourself. Who is Favor Ikhile?
Okay, thank you so much. So, Dr. Favor Ikhile, I'm a young enterprising dentist and a social enterprise founder. I founded an organization in my school while I was young in school called Global Entrepreneurs and Leaders Academy, which started as a young group, a group that empowers young people. And then it grew from a group to become a change hub affecting youth across the globe. Aside social entrepreneurship, I'm also someone that's interested in business and public speaking. And yeah, my hobby is driving. I'm always very happy driving around the city.
That's very interesting. You've captured my attention with the Global Entrepreneurs Leaders Academy. Why did you choose to start that organization, and what was your journey towards starting it?
Okay, so first, I'm always excited to share about my story and how I started my enterprise, because I believe it's going to be something that will inspire other people. From my background, I come from a background that is kind of religious. My parents are clergy. So one of the things about coming from such background is that your parents are easily transferred from one place to another by the authorities when it's time for it. Just like you're a missionary. Well, they were not missionaries, but it's just like that. So we're transferred from different locations. So it really affected my schooling. You know, I just started a new school in just one year. I've changed my school. So I attended a lot of schools by coming up. And then if you may be unlucky that some places your dad is transferred to, they may not like your dad that much. So it might be transferred to a place that is not so, that cannot really be able to pay a lot of the fees for everything, for the take care of the family. So I would manage through that primary and secondary school. So when I was about to go to tertiary education, I thought to myself that, how could my future be determined by someone's decision? Because if I continue like this, where someone is determining how far we go just by pen, just by transfers of my parents, I probably will end very small and I can't even go farther than my parents. So that was the first thing that started my leadership journey. When I got to school, I began to look for opportunities to develop myself. I tried to look for opportunities to identify my passion. And at 100 level, I attended programs within the school environment, but then I never knew anybody. So I had no networks. I just determined that I can't return back to that home after university and still become a victim of someone's decision. So fourth year, late third year, entering fourth year medical school, I attended, there was this program there was this program called outside my environment, outside the school environment. That was this particular one actually held in Lagos. Okay, so it was my first conference out of school.
How did you come to learn about that conference?
Okay, good. I met people within my quest to start attending programs within the school environment. I met some friends who were interested in opportunities, but some of them were like senior colleagues. There was somebody in the final year class as I in medical school who had gone for this yearly program.
Mm-hmm.
There was somebody who always talk about opportunities. So I attended one of their programs within the school environment. And then these people, when I attended those programs, I started seeing that I could be more, I could be better, I could inspire to become more, and encourage us to attend programs.
Just hold it there. That's very, very powerful, because I know most of youth around the world perhaps have got a similar kind of situation where they're asking themselves that who is in charge of the person I'll be in the future. And perhaps they're caught up in a place where they feel helpless, and they're trying to move towards the direction of their purpose and achieve the value for their communities or for themselves and the world, but they don't know where to begin from. So you say that you learned this from your friends and the people around you. How can a young person who is in a similar situation derive inspiration from what you're just saying?
Okay, great question. So when in any environment you find yourself, the first thing is to locate the right set of people. So there are a lot of people in my immediate class or environment, but not everybody was really interested in thinking out of the medical sector or thinking out of, our course is a course that when you finish, you definitely will have a job. So not everybody is really worried about this change maker something.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the people, they are rich people's children, and they're like, so they're not really worried about doing anything to
They're not
change.
curious. They're not curious to explore.
They're not curious to explore anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I had friends in other departments who I had checked, and I saw that they were more curious about opportunities because they were kind of more victims of this unemployment issue.
Mm-hmm.
You see somebody who graduated with a very good result, like a 2-1,
mm-hmm.
And then the person is not getting a job 1 year, 2 years after graduation.
Mm-hmm.
Even those with first class, you think immediately they just get a job. It's not as easy.
Stop.
So I was kind of worried, about these people out there. And I felt like, well, if I even need to do something, I need to get closer to them. I need to empathize with them. I need to understand what is happening. So I started making friends.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the friends I made, not many of them were actually from dentistry or medicine or so. Just 1 or 2
mm-hmm.
were, as I said, in the final year or top classes. So that was how I got to learn about setting programs, which was one of the programs I talked about, which held in Lagos. So that was my first opportunity to go out of school and to take a very big risk because in medical school,
mm-hmm.
so the tests are not just, sometimes the tests are not all scheduled. I don't know about other countries, but my school. So you might just be shocked that a test will just be fixed. And we have tests next in 2 weeks' time.
Mm-hmm.
And that test is very important to your passing to leave that class.
So this program that you were selected for, what was the application process, and was it difficult for you as a medical student who is now going into an interesting field of leadership, perhaps that you're not so used to? Was it difficult for you to make that transition?
Okay, it was. I would say actually it was a bit challenging, because I am going to be going to a sector, or I'm interested in something that is not really healthcare per se. So I wanted to apply for this program, and one of the questions they asked me was, "What is the problem that you identified in your community?" So I found that most of the programs, they usually ask that question. You need to identify a problem. Then what is your solution? So they asked a question about, they even asked for a video interview. So it was quite challenging because to put up, that was like my first video submission. So I made several records, started again, and over and over, and made the submission. I just closed my eyes and submitted. And I was lucky to get selected. And that was how my leadership journey began. Because of course it has began from my decision, but I mean that bold step to leave my comfort zone.
Yes.
And guess what? That program, I was able to meet with 200 people, 200 young leaders from across the country were selected like myself. Wow. I would call myself like I was really privileged or lucky because I never had a lot of skills, a lot of time to apply for things. I just tried my best and I shared my vulnerability. Wow. I shared my experience, my story, and I shared my passion that I really want to become a leader. I want to, and they selected me. When I got there, I saw people who had gone far. People who had advanced. There were 200 people selected from different parts of Nigeria. And then something happened. When I was going for that conference, I already knew I have tests back in school. For me to make these decisions to go, it's like going back and going for a conference and making the very tough decision to burn your ship and say you're not going back. So we accept you make an impact. So while I see kept the picture, I took a picture and I told myself, I wrote down about 3 major things as what are my objective for this program. Number 1, I must network with other young people that are there, that are better, of course, better than me. Number 2, I must learn and start, relearn, unlearn, and learn new things that I never knew about. And the third thing I told myself was that I'm going to look for mentors. So those motivation, I wrote it down. And when I got to the conference, actually it was achieved. And that was how the conference is an entirely long story. You want me to go there, man?
Well,
I talk with people there.
We love this, and it's interesting that you've mentioned the attitude with which you approach that conference, because you're going there with a very open mind, and you wanted to meet people who are different from you, and you wanted to learn and relearn and unlearn some of the things that you didn't know. Do you think that the attitude with which one goes into a conference, number 1, influences the kind of value they derive from it? And then number 2, how does someone prepare when they're going to a conference so that they derive the maximum value from it? You've just talked about the 3 points. How does someone prepare for that? Because some youth, they just go and attend a conference for the sake of it. But then you've mentioned that you need to prepare, and then you need to go with a particular mindset. How does one prepare?
Okay, great questions. The first question, it is very important. The mindset the person uses to go, takes along to go to a conference is so important, because the mindset you have will determine the kind of approach, how sensitive, how able you are to listen, to learn from others when you go for the conference. So for me, before I go for conferences, I make a vow. Like I make a vow before I leave that favor, I take a pen, like this conference, this is what you are going to do. This is what you are going to achieve at the end of the conference, and this is what you intend to do at that conference. Like I made a personal vow, a commitment to myself, and I go with so much enthusiasm. So now, when you go for a conference, how to make the best of the conference is always make sure that you write down something.
So you know what you are going for that conference. So you have objectives that you're going to meet.
Objectives that are very specific. Very specific. The SMART goals, like they are specific. I'll give you a clear example. When I went to that conference, I desired to network with people at that phase that could help me as mentors. Now, when I went to the conference, I was able to find some of the guest speakers who eventually transited from not just being a mentor to, over the years, now becoming even sponsors.
Wow.
So I'm going to talk something a bit later about how to change mentors to sponsors.
That's a huge topic on itself.
That's the topic on itself, because mentorship mentors, they are distant people, and you as a mentee, you are supposed to be the one chasing for your mentors, because your mentors, you don't expect your mentors to be the one looking for you. But then with consistency and with wisdom, your mentors can even transit from a mentor to become a founder and even a father or a parent, because those people at those extreme ends, the parents, or you can call, like, they act like a parent or a father. They can even ask you, they will be the one checking up on you, not even you this time checking up on them, because they are concerned. They are so intimately concerned about your well-being.
Let's talk about you meeting these objectives in the conference. I know there are a lot of obstacles that come alongside your pursuit of these objectives. One of them is some of these people are at a very high and senior level, and there's power distance between you and them. And sometimes you might feel intimidated to have a conversation with them, and you don't know how to ask them to be your mentor. And also sometimes it's a new field for you. You are a dentist and you've gone to a leadership conference, and it's something new to you. So you're not so familiar about the rules of engagement in this space. So how do you get the confidence and develop the ability for you to make that connection with someone new, someone in a different field, and establish a connection with them?
Okay, great question. The first thing is to present yourself in a very presentable manner. So when I went to that conference, I had summed up everything about myself in just few words, about 3 or 4 sentences. So if I want to introduce myself to a rich man, I know a rich man, their attention span usually very short. So they don't have all the time. So I would say the first thing is try and develop an elevator speech about yourself. Like, this is me, I do this and this and this. I'm passionate about this and this. And also another thing, because develop an elevator speech about yourself. Another thing is, do something they will remember.
Nice.
Like, do something they remember.
There's this book by Dave Kapman about dealing with people. I think it mentions that point that you've mentioned. Do something that someone will remember.
Exactly. So they're not going to remember much about what you say, but they're going to remember how you make them feel. Like, I got a recent invitation by a mentor who's going to be delivering his inaugural speech to the entire university, and he invited me for his inaugural lecture that he wants to introduce me to the entire school. Like, I've never kind of seen that kind of thing. And it was like he wants to introduce me and my visitors to the entire school. And one of the things that I noticed was key in our relationship was the fact that I had made sure that my interaction with him, he understood everything about who I am, what I do, my vision, and then importantly, he got interested, passionate about it, so that he can spread it and get recognition from it in his particular environment, the place he is. So a lot of ways you can do that. Try and do something that they can always remember. And one of the ways he was able to get interested in me was that I asked him a question. Now, this is very important. I said something to him that what ways your inaugural lecture is coming. What ways can I be of help? Like, how can I be of help? What can I do to contribute value to your own life? Wow. Trust me, rich men, they get a lot of requests from people. They get a lot of requests from a lot of people, but only few people think of value they can add to rich men, life of rich men.
That's so true.
And guess what? I mobilized my organization members in that state so that they're going to be around for his inaugural lecture as volunteers. Wow. Like, this is something that he will never forget. He'll be very happy about. So, like, how you make them feel is so important. And then the approach. The approach should be respectful. Yeah, over time, young people there's something I found out that when we get close to people or senior people, we tend to lose the respect over time due to over familiarity and all this.
Familiarity breeds content.
Yeah. So, but once they notice that you are someone that you maintain that gap in terms of respect, and you don't bridge it, you always are respectful. You are cool-headed. Wow. They are confident. Relating with you. They know you're not going to change. Like one of my mentors, I have a lot of stories to share.
Okay, just hold on. Just hold on to that thought a little bit. Let's do a little bit of recap. So you say that you need to prepare very well. You prepare by knowing the objectives, and also you set an elevation pitch about yourself. Yeah. You also do something that people will remember you for. Yeah. And also you offer yourself to help somebody who is in need. And that last point, listeners, if you haven't listened to the podcast with Vicky, you should listen to it and the story of how she offered help to people and ended up landing jobs in the United Nations offices in New York. That's a very inspirational point here that you brought up here. Let's first of all get back to talk about Kectil and your journey to discovering Kectil and you being selected as a colleague. How did you come to learn about Kectil and what was your journey towards coming to Atlanta?
Okay, thank you. Now, still on my journey while I was in school, I told you I started making friends who were interested in opportunities. So while I was trying to watch people's status, because you have friends that are interested in opportunities, they share opportunities on their status and all this kind of thing. So I got connected with a friend of a friend. All right. And then I discovered this opportunity. This person had gone for this. That person had gone for this particular opportunity. It's a Kectil program, and she's a lady actually. So
has she come to Atlanta?
Yes, she's come to Atlanta.
Okay.
She's come to Atlanta.
Do you want to give a shout out?
Yeah, Rosalie, man.
Shout out to Rosalie. I know Rosalie.
So she's a very nice person. You're very receptive. She gives you attention, and someone that has value. So, through a friend who knows her, I got to there's this conference called Kectil Conference. I'm like, how can one just go for a conference? I learned about the application process and read about it on a website they call Opportunity Dex. Opportunity Dex is one platform that is the hub of opportunity in around the globe. I'm sharing this too because my mentor is the owner of the platform. She's a Nigerian. Wow. And it's a great platform for opportunities for young people. So I got the opportunity through that. I got to learn of it through that platform, via a friend, as I said. And then I shared the opportunity with a lot of my friends in school because I was in medical school. And when I shared it with a lot of friends, the shocking thing that happened was that they were selected. I was selected. Oh my God. You know how heartbreaking it is? It was like, I've gotten some leadership skills and confidence in my application. So I was like, I will get selected. So I was kind of worried that people are mobilized, they were selected even before me. And just in about less than 48 hours, I got I actually sent a mail to Kectil like, have they selected people? Like, what happened? And then in less than 48 hours, I got a selection mail. Congratulations, you have been selected. And as I started the journey, started submitting my assignments. I was in a class that one of the most difficult class in medical school as at then. So to be submitting my assignments, coming out doing discussions with people, having tests, exam all around.
You are so busy.
I was so busy. Wow. So I tell people that there's no excuse. There's no excuse to developing yourself. If you want to be great, you have to make tough decisions, irrespective of how busy you are. Exactly. So sometimes, you may tell yourself that Kectil program is so long. Take assignments and assignments. But trust me, there are people that they are busier than you are. There are people that have been into a lot of things, but yet they were still able to achieve something. One of my mentees in dental school, she's currently doing the Kectil program, and she's like, the assignment, I said, those countries, I've been there. And the period I was doing this assignment, I was also holding a position as an official in 2 different organizations. So think about the assignments I'm doing there, Kectil, official work and everything. So
we can say, like, if you consider that it's too much to handle, then you're not ready for the program.
You're not ready, honestly.
Yeah.
So it will stretch you. Kectil will stretch you. It will increase your capacity to handle things. So I learned about leadership. I learned about how to become a very inspiring leader. So I and then after my selection process, I was submitting my assignments. I got the shock. I got a selection mail. Congratulations, you have been selected. I got a certificate. Congratulations, you have been selected to attend the conference. And that conference, I was supposed to attend it in 2020, but due to the COVID-19 lockdown, just about I think about 1 or 2 months after, we got a mail again that unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 lockdown, that the conference has been postponed till further notice. Oh my God. And it was a lockdown period, but it was enough. And this did not just happen for only Kectil conference. That year, I was supposed to travel for 3 different conferences.
I'm pretty sure a lot of young people can relate to your story.
Yes. I was to be in the US twice that year, and also in the UK for a competition. But everything was just. So that period, emotionally, I was really sat down and I was like, And then there's something I want to say. You must learn to convert your pain to power. Wow. You must learn to convert your tears into gain. Wow. So that period, I got really angry and passionate, and I submitted a grant applied for a grant opportunity. I started thinking of innovative ways to, as I told you, in Nigeria, during the lockdown, a lot of startup came up. So a lot of creative idea about digital stuff came up. So I thought of an innovative way to impact youth across the globe. And then I came up with a digital hub that trains people irrespective of their location online, and where they can get access to soft skill knowledge, leadership to empowerment, and access to foreign mentorship. Because I've seen the importance of mentorship in my life. So I felt like I need to build a platform that is online, that is irrespective of wherever they are, they can be able to access this opportunity, and made it in a way that's a kind of a gamified approach. So that year, I was able to win a grant from the US Embassy.
Wow.
And that was like, literally fine.
After the tears, after the sadness, you converted it into some value, yeah?
Converted it to value. And before the end of the year, I got the grant opportunity, and it was like awesome. And implemented the grant the following year. And
I saw you showed me the website that you built. Would you please share with the listeners? They could check it out.
Okay. That period, that will be developed a website. It's called www.gelaofficial.org.
What's the spelling of Gela?
GELA. Then official, just like your official. So just come again, www.gela, GELA, official, OFFICIAL.org.
Great.
So on that website, we're able to build a platform that people can come for training, access training, and even access some tools. You can, there are 3 things that happen there. There's a program called the Prestigious Global Mentorship Program. It's now a global program. So then it wasn't a global program. It was just a small program that was impacting people in West Africa. So now you can access the program for free. So you just come participate in the program, and it's very competitive to get in nevertheless, but you get access to leadership tools, to soft skills, and also mentors. You'll be assigned to mentors in other countries across the globe.
So now let's go back to your journey.
Yeah.
So you have gotten a scholarship or a grant, from the US Embassy, and Kectil sent you a regret that this has been postponed indefinitely. And so you're there just waiting. How did you then get to come to Atlanta and you haven't gotten an invitation yet?
Okay, great question. So I'm someone that is very persistent. Sherry could attest to the fact that I've consistently been sending emails to her. Like that's 2019, 2020. I kept reminding, please don't forget about me. You promised me that it was further notice. 2021, the same thing. 2022, the same thing. I kept on sending emails to remind them. That I believe so much on Kectil. It's a leadership organization. In fact, all my life right now, I was inspired by Kectil.
There's no way to get about you.
I'm not shooting about leadership and everything. So, and all of a sudden this year, so I just got. I sent a reminder again. I just got a mail. Congratulations, you have selected. You're invited for a conference. Wow. I'm like, wow. So that was how it happened, and the journey really has been really nice with Kectil. And the conference here really impactful. I met a lot of leaders like yourself, and many other people from other countries who are doing exceptional things. Like you need to see people who you think they are young people, but they're actually doing things that even old people can't. Others are struggling to see.
Shocking, like you see the CV and the age, and you're like, how can you do all this within this age?
Yeah.
And I'd like us to talk about the conference here in Atlanta. We've talked about your journey and how you prepare for the conference. Tell us about your experience and the value that you have derived from the 1 week period that we have been networking and making presentations here.
Okay, great. The experience here has been really nice. First of all, the opportunity to see Sherry live, it's someone that really inspires me. Like she inspires me from afar a lot. And in fact, when I was coming here, I felt like I can't come here without an award, so I had to present to an award. But it's coming where I was coming from Africa, so that's the first opportunity for me. Then the second thing was I learned something about how to handle teams, how to handle people that people are actually different. People that there are different kind of ways to categorize people. There are people that are abstract, random, and every of these category actually have a way in which they can best be handled. So I discovered that, and I'm going to put that back into my leadership journey. And then also I was opportune to network with some of the mentors that came around, and we're thinking of things or projects that we could do together. And also it's been an exposure for me. I've never been to Atlanta before. I've been to the US fine before. I've been to the US fine, but being to Atlanta, we're able to go around some place at Atlanta, visited the Coca-Cola museum, the Center of Disease Control. Like, I just want to say thank you to this foundation, Mama Norris Foundation. Like, they are really doing a lot for young people, because it's an eye-opener. There's something I want to say. You see, beyond teaching people to become revolutionary leaders, there's something about bringing them into the experience. Let them just have that experience in that environment so that they can think out of the box. And I think that's what Kectil does with this conference. So they have trained us, they trained you, and everything, you have learned everything online, and then they bring you to leave your environment and get you to another environment where everything looks really nice and you see things the way they should be.
Yeah, let me just make comments on that one, because I remember the first time I came to Atlanta in 2017.
Yeah.
My icon has been Martin Luther King Jr. I've been reading about him all my life since I was in high school. Yeah. I've read his books, I've read his speeches, listened to his audios. When I got a chance to come to Atlanta and we went to the Martin Luther King Museum, we went to Ebenezer Church, we went to his home, I left here a different person because I felt like I had met my icon. And I met his son that time. His son came to the conference and spoke to us. We took pictures with him. that alone changed my whole perspective in life, because I had encountered and had a conversation with the physical experience, like you're saying, with your dreams and the people the people who you look forward to. That one, to be honest, it's one of the greatest experiences that I've had in my life, coming to the museum, specifically the Martin Luther King one. I've enjoyed these others, but the Martin Luther King Museum is deep down very precious to my heart.
So just and also in addition to that, the conference, I've been able to learn of different countries. Some countries I never knew were actually, in the map. I just go to wow, this country is a country like this, and you're amazed to hear about the population in that country. They're over 90 million, and you're like, so there's a country like that has this kind of population, and nobody's talking about them. So it was, I got to learn new cultures, people from different, how they think, and I learned how to embrace diversity. We are all here from different. We believe in different religions. Christian, Muslims, Buddhists, and but we actually do not rest on those things. Our interactions are really very friendly, and everybody, those from Pakistan, those from Vietnam, everybody, we're just joyful. That's what the world should look like. It's like a global civilization, that we've come to realize. And I mean, everybody should look forward to being at this conference. And of course, we do your best in that submission, application, and everything. Why not?
So we've shared a lot of stories, and you inspire me, favored by your story. And there's something powerful about people talking about where they came from to where they are right now. It's more powerful than even just talking about where you want to be, because it is from the experiences that you've gone through, your story, that people learn the lessons, and people gain the courage to do things that perhaps they are fearful about. And I love it. I love that you're open to sharing that story. And so as we move to conclude this podcast, I'd like you just to briefly tell us what you're doing right now with the Global Entrepreneurs Leaders Academy, and tell us what are your future plans for working with the youth as a dentist.
Okay, thank you so much. We could talk and talk, because I had a lot of things I wanted to also share about real life experiences, about opportunities, and how that you cannot give up, should not give up on any selection process. Okay. Just to push that before answering your question, last year I got selected for a conference. I got selected for a program. It's a grant opportunity, and also an incubation hub for 6 months. I got to the semi-final phase, and I could not proceed further. And majorly the reason actually I could sense was not because my application, everything was, my interview was not coming fine, but because Nigeria was not among the countries that they listed. It's as if they were just surprised how they got me in this nice application. And so that's a final phase. I'm like, but do you know what happened? That's why I feel like it's never give up. So at that point, this year, before the application came up, I'd already gotten the very moment the application came up, one of the people that interviewed me privately sent me the link that this opportunity is already open, please apply. Like an interviewer. I'm like, okay. And I checked. I saw that the eligibility criteria added Nigeria. I just know, man, this year is my year. Give up on any opportunity. When you get rejected, or you can prove yourself. Sometimes not because your application is bad, because of the requirements and many things. They're like, sometimes when they're removing your name to not pick you to the next phase, they feel like, well, this person would have really been good, but let's just follow the rules. So, then into your question, right now, I came here actually for 3 major reasons: to learn. To learn a lot of things from people that really inspire me, and also to network with young leaders, mentors who would like to create impacts to change the world. Because we as young people are the tools to create impact. globally, we've seen that from all the countries that are presented, many of them are, the young people are over 60% of the population. So we need to start thinking out of the box. We no longer can wait for the government. Young people, we need to create jobs. We need to create jobs for ourselves. I won't say for others, for ourselves, because we are taking over the world. 60% of most of the country's population are young people. So we got to help ourselves to find jobs. We can't be cannibal. We're going to survive. We got to help ourselves. So we need to support initiatives from young people, and we are trying to see if we can build a network where young people, irrespective of their organizations, can work together to support ourselves. That's what we're doing at GELA, Global Entrepreneurs and Leaders Academy. We are all entrepreneurs. We are all leading our own enterprises, but we are teaming up to help the world, to help young people. And how does it work? Now, you can be from Pakistan, you can be from Kenya, you can be from any country, all right? If you come in to work with us as a collaborator, a mentor or something, people from your country, you're going to help mobilize people from your country who are interested in getting to learn on this program. They get access to the training. Now, in return, they're going to come back to you as volunteers. So you have an organization, maybe you have been struggling with getting committed volunteers or people who are passionate about things, because that's a major challenge with young people. Everybody just wants to see results. They're not really interested in volunteering. So from those people who have been selected, we are going to deploy them back to you. So you are giving your time to mentor, you are giving your time to train people, but eventually they're going to come back to your organization as volunteers. And then another thing is for the exceptional young leaders who are interested in involving themselves in mentorship, they're going to get a certificate of recognition. We have an affiliation with strong bodies, international bodies. And as I mentioned about the US Embassy not very long, that because this project is actually part of what their initiative supported at some point. So you're going to get a certification from the organization in collaboration with these bodies for your work, for your service to help youth across the globe. Okay, then another thing is you're going to get an opportunity for visual interns to be posted to work with you. Let's say, for example, you're a PhD holder and you have some projects, you have some things that sometimes you find it difficult to handle all these things at the same time. So these people, they are coming back as refined people. They have been trained, remember, they're not just any kind of youth. They have been trained, their mindsets have changed, everything have changed, their willingness to volunteer has changed. So they're going to be very useful to either your organization or even to you, the academic, as a graduate student, and they're going to come back to you to help you. And lastly, there's an opportunity also for you to even earn. If you are able to produce quality content for the young people, and it goes through our system, and we see that it's something that actually has a lot of value and everything. Why not? We put it up on we have a platform where people on our websites. If you can go to our website, you see that some courses are actually paid courses. Okay, so a visitor, or any visitor, anybody, because actually our sites, people search for our site across the globe. A visitor may just come and just want to opt for it. Once they click that and purchase that course, you are getting money. Like you're getting money from, so you can just give that, submit your course there and just forget about the that thing, and you're getting money into your account. So there are a lot of ways you can benefit. If you are someone that want to come on board as a mentor or program mentor to help young people. Then for participants, the application is competitive, extremely competitive, but it's something that you can get in. Why not? So as I said, it's just about submitting or telling your story that you are a leader and you feel you should be selected for it. So you submit a good application because every year is a biannual program. So it runs twice a year from February to, that's 3 months, from February, March, and April. And the next cohort, August, September, October. So you can see we're already approaching August. So the cohort for this year, the second cohort of this year, starting by August, September, October, we've already selected people for this cohort. So right now, some applicants, it's not really possible for you to get in. Unless maybe mentors who can want to mentor. But if you want to be an applicant, you can apply for the next cohort, which the application will start by November, and it will commence in February. Application is free. Everything is totally free. Application, you're not going to pay a dime. We are, as an organization, we're covering the expenses for the program. This is worth over 100 $100, to put everything together for each person.
Mhm.
But we're covering that, so you're gonna pay then as long as you put in a good application and you are selected. Only about 80 to 100 people are selected globally.
Wow.
So for per cohort. So if you luckily get in, why not? You're gonna be up for something big.
Wonderful. So how can the people listening to you get in touch with you in person on either social media, or do you have your email or your number, whichever means of communication that you'd like to share?
Okay, thank you. I think one way you can connect with me is you can connect maybe through social media, like on Facebook, basically just on Google. You could access all my media platform. Yeah, so if you type my name on Google, it appears on first search. So just type Favor Ikhile. His surname is spelled as Ikhile. So Favor is the British spelling. There's a U. So just put Favor Ikhile on Google. As you type it, all the platform I am on, Twitter, on Instagram, on all the platforms, even Facebook, but I'm more active on Facebook and LinkedIn. So we can connect there. Then also my email address, which we could, especially if you're interested in mentoring youths and you think you have a good profile and you want to come on board, my email address is Ikhile, that's my surname, Ikhile .favor. As I said again, the British spelling of favor at gmail.com. So just send me a mail and introduce yourself. You're from Kectil, you participate in the podcast series and you'd like to part of what we're doing.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Favor, there's no better place to end it than here. And I'm so grateful for your time and your inspirational stories that you've shared. I know there's so much that we can talk about. It's just that we're limited of time. But we keep having this conversation back and forth with you and perhaps with other youth that we'll be inviting to the Kectil World Youth Podcast. To our listeners, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited and happy that we were able to have you for this time. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.